Hello there. Today I am going to share my tips and tricks for something that I see asked about often. How to get all the silica gel out of your flowers so it doesn't get in your pieces. If you're interested in learning how I get all of that out, then stay tuned. Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Courtney and I'm a flower preservation artist, business educator, and coach, and I am so happy that you are here today. I've seen a lot of posts talking about silica gel lately and how annoying it is. We all know how cumbersome getting all of that silica gel out of flowers can be, and sometimes it just takes forever to get it all out. But we have to, right? We don't want any silica floating around in our pieces or getting stuck on our molds and scratching them. So let me show you some ways that I personally handle this. Now before we begin, I want to preface with the fact that I use Activa and Wise Dry Silica Gel for preservation, and I'll link both of them in the description if you'd like to try either of them out. In my experience, Wise Dry doesn't stick to the flowers as bad as Activa does, but Wise Dry is more expensive, so you have to choose what's more important to you, saving money or time. Now, here's a couple of the tools that I use when I'm working with silica gel. I have a plethora of makeup brushes that I use, and I have an air blower. I'm going to swap the camera angle so that you can watch my process of how I get the silica out. Okay, so here we've got a snapdragon, which is probably the most infamous of all flowers to hold on to its silica. I'm going to zoom in a little and try and focus on that for you. There you go, so you can see like all the silica that's still on there. So we are going to get rid of all that silica. Okay, so like I said, these are two of the main instruments that I use to get rid of silica. So this is this actually came with my camera many years ago to blow dust out of the sensor. So essentially use it to blow the silica off the flowers. So and then I've got 3 different types of makeup brushes that I'm going to use. A little thicker one here, a little bit smaller, and then this one like super tiny. So what I usually do first, the good old tap method, is I'll just pick up the flower and basically just tap my hand and get as much of the loose silica off as possible. As you can see all the silica that's on there now, so I'm just gonna do this until I don't see anything else fall off. You can also, on some of the stronger flowers, like Snapdragon, you can also, I'll take like the end of a brush and just very lightly tap on the stem itself. So it's a little bit more forceful than hitting just my hand. And like I said, you don't want to do this with with the fragile flowers, but the Snapdragon has a really sturdy stem, so you can kind of just tap it, see how much more silica there is there. So I'm just going to keep tapping it until I don't see any more drop, which I am seeing a lot. So I'll just keep going. Keep going. Obviously there, like I said, some of the flowers that you wouldn't be able to do this with don't have a long sturdy stem like this, like ranunculus or orchids, things like that have more thinner petals, but you don't actually have a stem on. You can do this with the bigger roses. They're a little bit more sturdy, so you could do this, just hold it upside down and just hit the stem of the rose ever so slightly. Okay, so that's pretty much everything. Look at all that. That's crazy, right? I'm gonna tip it over. Oh, and see, this will happen, so just be aware that is probably going to happen, but that's what UV resin is for. We'll glue it back on later. But anyway, so I was tapping it this way. I'm going to turn it over and tap it again and get just a little bit more. There's a little bit more coming out, but again, that's kind of it. Okay, I'm going to set this little guy off to the side, out of the way, so you can see all of that came out. I am gonna just kind of move this over because I want you to see like each thing that I use, like how much of it actually comes off. Okay, so now we're back to a clean slate. So then what I'm gonna do is you can use this. This one pretty much doesn't have anything loose on it anymore, so, but you can use it to go inside the flowers and just kind of do a little fluff there if there's anything stuck inside. This is really great for roses and ranunculus and things like that, and just kind of getting in between the petals and blowing out anything loose. So I don't use this a whole lot. I mostly use the brushes, but it is a tool that you can use. Then I'm going to take my brush that's a little bit bigger and kind of softer. It's a little bit more pliable. And I'm just going to very delicately go over the stem first. I like to do the stem first when I'm doing this. And this is a very just gentle, but you can see how much is coming off already, but this is just very gentle that we're doing. And then once you're like to the point where like no more is coming off of the stem, then I'll kind of just go around anywhere I see silica and just very lightly brush off. This is going to get more of the bigger stuff off this bigger brush. These guys are so very delicate, you have to be really careful with them. So I'm just going to kind of very lightly, I'm going to flip it over and do the other side. Just have to be very careful and go slow. This is not a fast process. Really, there is no part of flower preservation that is a fast process. Okay. So you can see what I've gotten off of this brush. Now some of this will have come a little loose too. It might not have fallen off, but it will be a little bit loose. So I'm going to hit the stem again. To get any other loose particles off. Okay, so whew, look at all that, right? Not too bad. There. Okay, same thing. Okay, there's that. Now we're going to take the medium brush. It's a little bit stiffer, but it is smaller, so I can really get in on that stem and finish cleaning it up. Since this one is a little bit stiffer, it's going to grab onto those silica gel crystals much easier and actually take them off the flowers, unlike the bigger brush. The bigger brush was mostly just to kind of loosen things, which it has done because I am getting, you can see what's on there. So we're doing good. I tried to go back and forth on different things because like if you sit here and you just continue to push on something, you could cause it to break. So I do a couple of strokes, then move on to another flower to like let the last one settle, and then I'll go back to it. Just want to make sure you're not being too harsh with any part of it. Same thing. This guy over here. Just go slow. Flip it over. Okay, and then same concept. We're gonna hit it again. And even more is going to come off because it's been shooketh. Okay, there's all that. Okay, and then the last one that I'm going to use is my real thin makeup brush here. It's very small, very thin. So you can kind of, hold on. There we go. Now you can see how thin it is. Okay, so we're gonna use that to kind of go real in between these smaller areas, like where there's not a lot of space for the thicker brushes to get you. And again, just real slow, real easy. Just get in there with the smaller brush. And knock off that silica. Flip it over so you can see this side. My problem with the smaller brush is because it's smaller, I don't get as much space. I say I already broke a piece. And so I tend to go faster, which is my downfall. So just again, make sure you're going slow. Move from spot to spot. And then again, just tap. Okay, I had 2 little pieces fall off. That's actually not terrible. I've had worse happen, so this is a pretty stable Snapdragon. So just going over, finding all the little ones that I might have missed. But this one is pretty darn clean now. So, yep, so you can see, here's the pile. That's all the silica that was on that Snapdragon. And there it all is. So that's how I get all of that out. I hope this video was helpful. And if you like this video, make sure that you hit the like button and go ahead and subscribe to my channel so you'll be notified when the next video comes out. If you have any questions about what I shared today, let me know in the comments. And if there's anything else that you'd like to learn that I haven't made a video about, throw that in the comments as well, and I'll be happy to make one for you. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you next week. Bye.